You really don't. So what else we got going on? Now listen, I listened to this Denzel Curry ZUU album, right? Reason in which I did not check out this ZUU album when it initially dropped was due to the fact that I thought everything for Denzel Curry was kind of all just one particular way, you know? As in like I thought it was what the underground song that he had made before that like is the one that he used that went absolute viral. Like y'all know exactly which song it is that I'm talking about. Y'all know which song I mean. It's the one where he's like, I am the one, I mean all of that. At first I was like, well, if this is who yeah, if I'm like if this is how Denzel Curry's albums are gonna be, I'm not too interested in hearing his albums, right? But after listening to this ZUU album, it hit me in a way in which YBN Corday's album hit me in a sense of I expected one thing from you and got something completely different. Y'all remember when I initially said with the whole YBN movement, I was just like, yeah, I'm not, that whole wave can kind of miss me because I just don't feel like it's going to be the music in which I want to listen to, right? And when I listened to The Lost Boy, his album, I was like, oh, this is better than Chances. This is great. This is something I was not expecting, right? And I still go back and listen to YRN all the time, or is it RMP all the time with him and Anderson .Paak on there. And I got the same thing when I listened to this Denzel Curry album because last week I was just happened to be walking and I put my music on shuffle and this song Wish came on and I was like, let me give it a chance. But it started off with a super cool sample where I was like, oh my God, this is really nice. And then I listened to the whole song and when the beat dropped, I'm telling y'all, it was absolutely insane, right? So we started off with ZUU and ZUU, it was a heck of a way to be able to start off an album. Like the first thing that caught me was how it just kind of slowed down in the beginning of it to give kind of like a calm vibe. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is dope. I'm noticing this from a lot of his songs where when they start out like super slow and super smooth and then they just have an incredible beat switch and just completely go a different way. It was mind blowing to me how good it was. And then he even had a line in there that was I got M's on my belt feeling like Majin Buu. And I was like, oh, okay, get your little Dragon Ball Z reference in. I feel it. But then like right after that line, the turn up happened immediately. And that was just like so amazing to me to be able to have that steady like pull, like, okay, I'm just gonna kind of like soothe you in and then be able to turn it up and make it feel like I'm at a Travis Scott concert with the mosh pit beat switch. It was dope. And then we go from that to the song Ricky, the one that I just played for y'all right now, where you can definitely feel the H-Town vibe, the H-Town influence. Like it was impeccable to me. And the sample mix up was great. Bless you. The sample mix up was great. Bless you again. And then even the lines about what his mom was telling him about it, what his dad was telling him, and how he felt like growing up. Him and his crew was a part of 3-6 mixed with Wu-Tang mixed with I was about to say Dipset. It was I just cannot speak to that, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. Dukes has. You know, it's funny. I always wanted that car growing up too. I was like, that car would be fire to be able to drive. Like, let me just
spray the front black.
Yeah, and just drive down. Except I want to drive down a random highway in Florida, but then at the same time I don't because it's Florida and you never know what happens. Like I'm good. Exactly. I don't need nobody. Hey man, I kind of need a ride. Can I get in with you? And it's just it's just not gonna happen. So we went from there to my favorite song of the project so far, and that would be Wish. When I tell you this song was a chef's kiss in the air. With the first time I heard it last week, I was like, y'all, what is this? Why did nobody tell me this? And I got to give credit to my guy, Vivek, who last Saturday we were hanging out and he was saying he's got Denzel Curry in like his top 5 of rappers because he's like his versatility, his beat selection, his flow, and how he can make songs just feel good and make you have a good time. And I was like, all right, you know what? I was going to give his album a chance at some point, but I'm going to speed it up and give it a chance today. And I'm so glad that I did because going from like the catchy hook right now, I was literally at the point where I was saying it's between Don Toliver and Denzel Curry for 2 people that I will call right now to be like, if I need a catchy hook on something, like when I was talking about Jack Boys, I'm gonna put out that album review for y'all sometime this week. When I was listening to Jack Boys and Don't Know What to Do came on, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then the same time when Gang Gang came on the Jack Boys album, I was like, this is amazing as well. But hearing Denzel Curry on his album doing his hooks immediately made me go, put him and Don Toliver on the hook of everything right now to be able to get something catchy and something that's going to be a hit, because it is absolutely stunning. And then what else? What I loved about it was that it's got so much of a heavy South Florida, like Miami, like Dade County 305 type of influence that I haven't been to Miami yet. But every time I listen to a Rick Ross project that's very thorough, or I go back and listen to Briscoe, or I go listen to Billy Blue, or now I can add Mr. Curry, Denzel into that list as well, you could just feel that influence. It made me feel like I want to be in, I don't even like large bodies of water like that, right? But I want the Dukes of Hazzard car just driving down a random highway in Miami with nothing but water on both sides as I'm speeding towards the city, because it just feels so good to be able to listen to it. Or I'm pulling up to a party that Uncle Luke might be throwing, but definitely not Freaknik though, because I've seen too many videos from that and I don't want to be a part of that in any way, shape, or form. I'm good. I'm good. Like I'm leaving, and I have left all of that life. I don't want to be there at all, because it's just way too much happening in some of those videos. And it always bothers me whenever people go on Twitter and say, oh man, that's my father in the background. I'm like, why are you doing this? You partially doing this for clout, but at the same time, why are you doing this? Like, just go show your dad and just be like, hey dad, is this you in the background? He'd be like, yeah. Don't ask me no more questions, and just leave it at that. You're right. You're right. Hey, hush up, little girls. There's a lot of cats going around here with that name. Like, just leave it. Just real Black Dynamite with it, and get up on out of there. Now, speaking of Rick Ross, the next song on there is called Birds, and there's a heavy distortion that started, which the song it makes the song cool. Like, I think that the song was good. However, this is one of the ones where I kind of soured on the album just a little bit, because it had a Rick Ross feature on here. I would have much preferred to hear Rick Ross on the previous song that I was referring to, which was Wish, rather than hear him on the Birds record, because the heavy distortion, it felt like a not even God Forgives I Don't, and it didn't feel like a Mastermind album. It kind of felt a little bit like the Mastermind album. No. Actually, I'll go back to this. It felt like a knockoff Elvis Presley Boulevard. And I was like, I don't really want, I would have preferred, now that I've heard how good Denzel Curry's beat selection is it, I don't know if it's Denzel or Denzel, forgive me, Denzel. I'm gonna call you Denzel because it sounds like it might be Denzel. So now that I know how good your beat selection is with your projects, I would expect for Rick Ross to be on something that was a bit more smoother. Like, I know he can do both sides of it, but I would have preferred him to be on a Wish record, because that felt more like it felt like a more Miami, like this is the life type of record in which Rick Ross will be on. I still think that his verse was dope, especially him shouting out Nipsey Hussle. But like I said before, I wish Rick would have been on Wish, and Kiddo Marv, who was featured on Wish, would have been on Birds, because what Kiddo Marv gave to the song, I felt would have worked on Birds as well. After that, we had Tay Keith on the song called Automatic, and it was nice. I thought that this is dope. And going those 5 songs in, while I didn't particularly love the song Birds, at the same time, I was like, this is still a pretty solid record overall. Then we got to Speedboat. Speedboat was another one as well, where I felt as if it didn't necessarily actually take that back. Speedboat was one where I felt, while still being very smooth. Hold on, I just dropped this right here, and I gotta pick this up. While still feeling relatively smooth, this is another record in which I wish Rick could have been on, because again, I'm noticing how good your beat selection is now. I know that I like an artist when I start saying, oh, I wish you would have did it this way, or I wish you would have did it that way, but I'm still rocking with it. Because more often than not, if I come across somebody where I was like, I don't even give you the chance to be like, I wish you would have did it this way, I just would turn it off, and I just wouldn't listen to you again. But the fact that I'm like, I enjoy this aspect of your music, I like this part of it, means that I want to be nitpicky, because I want this to be as perfect as what it could be. And I just wish that he would have been able to add that on there. And then he had a piano underneath it as well on this one that gave it a good touch. Was good. That gave it a good touch. Thank you. And the thing that Dang, I completely. You know how you be just doing something and then something happen and it just throw you all the way off. That's exactly what just happened right now. But it's cool though. It is absolutely cool. It's kind of like when today I was watching the Breakfast Club interview with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and Charlemagne decided to ask Will Smith about how much more money he was getting than Martin, and Will was like, "Charlemagne, we 4 minutes in. Don't do no type of stuff like that. What's wrong with you?" And then Will proceeded to sidestep the question, and Angela Lee asked another one. I was like, that's some good media training right there, because that can tell you right there he's been doing it for a long time. Now, back to what I was talking about before, going into the next song, which is the interlude, Bushy B interlude. It was cool because it also had a sample underneath it, and I was like, I'm infatuated with his ability to be able to pick great samples and then the producers making good songs out of those. Or even if it's just the producer's work that's doing that, they did an impeccable job. I loved it. Then he had another interlude that was called Yo, that was hilarious, where the dude only really said yo the entire time. Dope. Carol Mart was great. Ice Billion Bird, you did your thing on a hook. That was amazing. It definitely felt like a party. The whole time I was listening to the record, I was like, oh, this is stunning. This is amazing. I like this. I like this a lot. I don't know if the album can get any better than what I'm getting from right here. Then Shake 88 came on, and I was like, okay, Uncle Luke influence, you're here now, and I'm enjoying it, right? It was so good. This brings me right back to the samples that he had on there, and I was just like, bro, you know how to have a good time with your music. And Sam Sneak, I believe Sam Sneak might have did the record. Sam Sneak, for those of y'all that don't know, is also Rick Ross's DJ. And if he did, Sam Sneak, you did an amazing job, bro, because that Shake 88 had an Uncle Luke influence that I was like, I'm loving this. Bada bop bop all the way. Shout out to Pusha T for making that happen. And then we had another song, Blackland 66.6, which was just another interlude. And then we had Pat, which felt very much like the old Denzel Curry, and the one that I was telling y'all before about that I had judged based on what his music was going to be. But if I had to give y'all top 5 from the album, it would have been Wish, ZUU, Ricky, Shake 88, and Carol Mart. Those would be my favorites. And the way that you start off your album with having ZUU, Ricky, and then Wish, that was a great strong start. And it also, when I look back on it now, was a very good indication of what we were going to get on the project. Overall, I absolutely loved it, and it opened me up to the point to say I would want to check out more of his stuff moving forward. Okay, that's what I want to get to. And one of the other takeaways is that from being able to hear how cohesive the sound was and still feel like it's a Miami influence type of thing, right? What I liked is that this album here helped me to show he knows who he is as an artist. And when somebody knows who they are and where they're from, and they can not only make music that reflects that, but bangs and puts on for the city, but also has a good time with it, that's what makes me really fall for an artist's music. That's what really has me saying, I want to check out more of your stuff. Period. Like I don't care if he goes back to what he was doing before. Now that I know you're just versatile. You kind of Roddy Ricch in a sense where I know Roddy Ricch can give me anything else that I'm doing at the same time, or anything else that we hear on the radio right now. But then at the same time, we can also get back to, he can give me a backseat and it's fire. He can give me the box and it's fire. He can give me high fashion and it's fire. He can hop on, what was that? What was you said he can give me the box and it's I need you to chill. Wow. I need you to chill. All right? Y'all knew what y'all know what I meant. Now, overall, man, I'm dead. I gotta play another song for y'all because I can't even continue. When you come back, we gonna talk about Hillary Duff, and we gonna talk about the Oscars and what's going on there. Hey, look, man, Denzel Curry, I want to go down to Miami and I want to go to a concert. I want to go to a party where they play your music now because your album was just that good. I'm definitely going to be checking out more stuff that you had. This project was overall super solid.